Hello and welcome everyone to the Soviets 5 minutes or slightly more overview. Soviets, basically extremely mobile, core infantry allows immense early pressure and options for aggression. While your units are versatile, plan ahead with what commanders and units you want to transition to, with many of your options being the strongest in the game for their cost. While your commanders are flexible, look to combine your core unit choices with a surprising commander combination to throw your opponent off guard. Over to you.
Uh, So Soviet is the most aggressive-oriented faction. They have a difficult time against emplacements and early armor due to their damage, but excel at repositioning and taking capture points away from your opponent. They have the only capturing heavy vehicle in core, as well as a camouflage unit that gives alternative methods of capturing under MG file. It is suggested that Soviet players start with either 3 conscripts or 2 conscripts, 1 mortar to utilize their aggressive play style. Always remember to use battlefield defenses to try to get damage and try to get damage from range with your sniper teams, your mortar, and your AT gun to support your overly aggressive conscripts or T-70s. Always be looking for openings in your opponent's defenses to squeeze a conscript through. They have that speed die that gives them more mobility than any other unit early game. Um, a common mistake for Soviet players is over-retreating. You're going to be overly aggressive with your conscripts, but if you start to retreat your conscripts, you're going to lose your main strength, which is the ability to take points and threaten at any side of the battlefield at any moment. They do not have a forward retreat point or way to reinforce, so learning how to keep your units pressuring the front as long as possible with proper sandbag play, the health upgrades, and positioning is key to playing Soviets well. As conscripts begin to fall back, this is when you want to start trying to transition to Tier 3. Soviets have the cheapest tanks in the game, but also the weakest in terms of health. Their goal is to surround, spot, and hoard capture points the conscripts have taken. So like the T-34 with its heroic sacrifice upgrade, you can send that in, try and stand on a capture point, and it'll willing and you're able to lose it, but that's okay because that was the rule of the T-34. Su-76 with its 3-range heavy firepower, and same with the Su-85 for countering vehicles. Yes, I have more, but I've been quite
All right.
confused.
So we have about 3 minutes left. So I'll just say I would focus on early game. You don't necessarily want to double down on snipers, but snipers being at 3 manpower is a kind of good opening. Relying your conscripts to push forward and just really keep pushing forward using that speed die. So then you have
Yes.
like the snipers are great at kind of threatening the damage. They have a cheap AI upgrade, and then the T-70 because of this ability they can capture by toggling no fire. So it's the only heavy vehicle in the core kit of the entire game that can do so. So feel free to toggle it early and threaten to capture spots on the map. Their scout car is also very tanky out of the gate. So they have a lot of cool options, and then as we kind of touched on, their tier 3 is cheap. So they have the answers. It's just usually just getting them out there, and they're able to get them out there pretty early. So T-34 is never a bad idea with the heroic sacrifice, as Taylor touched on. The Su-76 is that good single target HE damage source, and arguably the best tank destroyer in the game, the Su-85 with 3 AP out of the gate. And even though there's cooler tank destroyers for Soviets, this one is the only one that can get to 4 AP with that 3 XP upgrade. So, you got 1 minute left, Taylor? Any other things?
So the main strength
What's
with
their
Soviets is
go
the
with
fact.
strengths and weaknesses? Yep, go ahead, sorry.
Yep. So the main strength of Soviets is the fact that they got 4 capturing units in the first 2 tiers. So they're going to be capturing more than their opponent. They're going to be trying to push your opponent and take their capture points. So if you're trying to fight against Soviets, your main thing you kind of want to do is try and not to match their aggression too much. You don't want to try and be better at them at aggression because they will just take the whole map from you if you start to leave your points. So really try and look at the map, understand where your strong side is, and try and hoard your strong side. Try and hoard 3 points until you can get a stronger lead into tier 3, and you can start getting out the units that will just push back their infantry, their tanks, everything that they have. But as Soviets, all of your damage comes from range, and you want your conscripts and your T-70 out in the front to spot for all of your range damage.
All right, what's their weaknesses as we wrap it up here? How do you
Their
play against them?
weaknesses is they have a difficulty holding points, but also I don't know. Soviets are just so good. They
Heard it from him first, folks.
they
There
do
is
have
no
counters. So
weaknesses.
AT gun
You'll win
can be countered.
all
The
of your
snipers,
games.
of course, low health. They can be countered. T-70, 2 health. Conscripts, 3 health. Not a lot of damage. If you have overwhelming firepower and you can catch the conscripts making a bad play and bad positioning, you can take them out and kind of slowly whittle them down.
So take
If
advantage when they overextend, when they don't,
yes,
when you can get them stuck and you can focus fire their units because their units, even though they have a lot of units they can capture, they're frail. All right, we'll end it there. Thanks for watching, everyone.